Ian, it's pretty much a year on now since you closed down the Designers Republic. How do you kind of reflect on your time with Designers Republic and what you achieved during that time?
I think it's strange looking back, because obviously having kind of reignited the Designers Republic, it's strange because really what we're doing now is what we set out to do originally, and that was to really to do what we wanted to do with clients who wanted us to do that, and given that kind of vision, somewhere along the line we kind of lost that, and we kind of went a different way. And when I look back about Designers Republic, and when people talk about Designers Republic now, it's almost as if the sort of the last 2 or 3 years didn't really happen. But I mean, they were interesting times. We worked with a lot of great clients, and I learned a lot of stuff that I probably wouldn't have done if we'd have continued just on the same kind of course. So that, I mean, it was great. But it's sort of strange that I guess it's because the values that we have now are the values that we had. But I guess that, you know, when I reflect on it, it's strange because I'm very aware, more aware now, I think, of the impact that we had on people than I did when we were doing it, because, you know, you just carry on day to day. So it's quite good. It's nice to sort of have something that's kind of now a finite kind of memory, you know, and then sort of build on that and move forward.
You mentioned you learned a lot of things. What kind of things did you learn during going through the experience of the growth of Designers Republic, and ultimately having to take the very difficult decision to close it last year? What were the big lessons that you kind of learned from that?
What happened was that we started to deal with a very different kind of client as we got bigger, before it went bang, and you start to realise kind of there's different ways of working, and actually kind of with some of the bigger clients and what kind of people would consider as more corporate clients, that the people within those organisations are actually kind of much more interesting than the organisation was seen externally. So we learned a lot of new ways of working and new ways of sort of collaborating sort of with clients. I mean, before that, it was very much, I guess Designers Republic sort of historically has always been people come to us for what we do, and they ask for our help to provide a solution. And so I guess working with bigger clients, and in sort of the last few years, it really kind of helps you sort of see things from a different perspective and get different ways to work. And so I mean, yeah, I mean it's a kind of a vague answer, but it's everything that kind of comes of having to think about things kind of differently and think about things beyond the creativity that you input. So Designers Republic was always something that I think was misunderstood, because people saw it for a lot of the time we were kind of sort of seen for the surface value of what we did, and people said that's great design, and you know, it's amazing. And what I think people didn't really understand, and why it's difficult for people to really copy us, was that what we did as a result of a lot of thinking. And so I enjoyed the aspect of working more on a consultancy basis with some people towards the end of Designers Republic, because actually you get a chance to do more thinking, and bigger clients such as Coca-Cola really value your thinking beyond the surface. So that was sort of, I enjoyed that. But I think in terms of sort of for other designers and things, I think you need to be kind of true to yourself, and if you're not comfortable, then that probably means that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, or you're not kind of really cut out to do. And I would sort of say that for me, what I learned was that I am cut out to be kind of creative, you know, at any level, but I'm not cut out to have a company which follows an agency model. So I mean, in many ways, it's not that we couldn't do the work. It's just that I couldn't really sort of bring myself to turn up every day and really sort of like get into it, which of course had a knock-on effect for the people around me who were trying to create some agency model around Designers Republic, because that's what they knew. So there's always those tensions, really.
So what have you been doing with yourself for the last year then?
Yeah, well, what I've been doing with myself the last year is kind of working long hours trying to get all the work done that we've got, really. A lot of clients we work with Sheffield Dock Fest. We do the branding and all the stuff, promotional material for them. I've been working as the creative director for the Lisbon Biennale with Experimenta in Lisbon. That takes up a lot of time, very interesting. And that's brought up a few kind of good kind of contacts and collaborations with people like Ron Arad, etc. We're working with Make Architects in London, and we're doing sort of some stuff for location branding and project branding and rollout and signage for a new build city. So yeah, and then there's music business stuff. We've done a lot of interiors and whole kind of concepts for new gatecrasher clubs in Nottingham and Birmingham. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of stuff, kind of collaborations sort of coming up, and exhibitions. And basically, somebody's like basically putting together a package to do a Designers Republic documentary over the next year, which will lead up to a huge retrospective in Tokyo. And which is interesting because the people, it's at GGG Gallery, and they're really, really keen that what we've done sort of in the last year is included, but really it's kind of been business as usual, because the people that come, they're like, well, and it's not all about me, and it's never always been about me, because there's a lot of really great designers come through and contributed. But I mean, I guess in terms of the sort of vision, and that, you look back and other people kind of say, well, okay, well, it's kind of been you, in terms of not specific pieces of work. So I think that's why it's really sort of I'm quite surprised when people say, well, what are you doing now? As if I thought I'd become a baker, or I thought I'm going to work in a sweet factory. It's like after 23 years I don't really know what else to do.
So what are your kind of plans for 2010 then, and what are your aims and objectives for the year ahead?
Oh God. Well, 2010, a lot of it is I mean I think there's things really, and there's three strands that came out of the out of the dust and the ashes, and one of them is Designers Republic, which it moves forward as was, doing great work and getting more and more clients. Another thing is that there's things that I do that are really you can't really do as a company or a studio. So things like the sort of follow-on things from being creative director of the Lisbon Biennale. There's some other things that I'm not going to talk about now because then it won't happen. But there's that kind of thing. So obviously there's that was a success. Things will follow from that. And there's things in terms of working in education, which I enjoy. So they do that as a company, and then the other thing is the collaborations. And so there's a few things in the pipeline.